What's up, traders? I am out here today. It's a pretty sunny day, little bit of cloud, chilling out on my patio. As you can see, very beautiful, absolutely lovely. Having a great day, had some good calls this morning, had a really great stream. So this video, I'm actually gonna go over one of the calls I made live on stream there, and it just happened to work out really well today, so I would love to share with you so that you don't have to watch that full stream. But if you do want to watch that full stream, I'll leave a link to the actual stream so you can watch it. It's about an hour and a half long. And I'm just going to go over, we happened to catch a trade at the exact start of the stream where I told you guys basically why I was entering, and then the trade went really well into the right direction very quickly, and I outlined exactly what my thoughts were going at the trade now and how I was actually going to execute the exit part of the trade and what my thoughts were afterwards, what could have happened, all of this jazz. I hope it's going to be really helpful for you guys. I think it's going to be something absolutely great for you as a learning experience, and you will see how accurate you can actually be when you are trading properly. Keep watching. So we look at USWIS, very similar thing, right? So we see these lows, that's quite obviously liquidity that we need to fill, stop out those orders. Of course, as always, we can't do anything unless we kill the other players, right? So we dump down, you see we close back within the range, and for an added confirmation on the smaller time frame here, what did we see? We saw that, let me just move it so those circles aren't in the way. Okay, so we saw that this was the high, the lowest high, basically, the last high, and it brought us down to here. And then we started closing back above, right? And you can actually kind of consider this also a low. I think this one was actually slightly lower, at least on my broker. I'm not sure if it was here. Yeah, it's slightly lower, so this is actually the level that we had to break above. So right on that candle, started reversing, and it was a very obvious entry, right? Now where do we go from here? There's a couple points that we might want to take of interest to. First one would be here, right? Second one would be the tops here, because there's obviously going to be stop orders right there, right? So I think there's basically two levels that we can look for. Might take a little bit off at this level, and then let the rest ride. Oh crap, EU. Is it hit take profit? It did. I think it did. Yeah, there we go. Closing out right now. Look at that. Let's look at USWIS. Boom, look at that. That was really fast. What do we do? Okay, so now that we're all excited, and we're just really happy that it's going in our favor, right? There's a lot of emotion involved. We're wanting to take off. The initial instinct is, greed or wanting to take off something. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to look at the 5-minute chart here, right? And we actually have to make some logic behind this. It's moving really fast, so there's not a whole lot of reason to just start taking profits immediately, right? Most likely, it's not just going to dip right back down, right? Most likely it's not going to do that. It would be wise, because it's kind of rejected right here, and that's a pretty good level also. We could have drawn that as a possible level too. Let's look at the 1 minute, right? So the 1 minute, it's not showing any reason. It's pretty far from a level that we need to break down from, right? So I would actually expect this to go a little bit further. If you were a little bit fearful, take small profits in this case, but we really need to wait for the higher time frame closes, things like this, right? So if we look, the 5 minute, some people, they like to trade these pin bars or whatever you want to call them. It hasn't actually swept anything, so this doesn't mean a whole lot. It could easily come back down, but I would rather take a little bit more risk and leave it running, because there's not a whole lot of reason it's going to completely reject there that aggressively. But what we can do is obviously move our stops forward.
moving my stop forward, and then watch to see how it reacts off of this level right here. That very, very small level. And I think most likely it's gonna kind of fizzle out. If I can draw it on the 1 minute, it should kind of just fizzle, right? It'll come like this, kind of sweep, something like that, right? And then come down, most likely, right? That's a little bit more probable than just rejecting. Cool. So now that we're thinking logically, we can leave it running, right? EU will go up. I mean, you're wrong, because it just went down. But that's good. That's really cool. Okay, so Swiss is going up a little bit again. See, it's continuing up a little bit. So there wasn't really any reason to take profit right there. You can see that it did reject off of that level perfectly. And if you really wanted to, you could take a little bit off, right? So what I'll do is I'll take off 10%. Just 10%. That's it. Because we're getting super close to my actual take profit, so there's not a whole lot of reason to even leave it running either. So if we see, this is what we have to watch out for here. If we see a really aggressive, just a wick here and then dump down, I'm going to completely close the position. Just because we're super close to the final take profit, and there's not much left to even gain, right? Cool. I think this is awesome that it's actually like, we're actually seeing some strong price action live on stream, and we're in this trade, so I can really explain the kind of the logic as we go along here. So I think we'll kind of focus on this while it keeps going also, but we can talk about other things here too. EURUSD just dropped a little. I mean, that's the biggest move of the day, so I don't know if that's a little. That's the biggest move of the day. And the reason we targeted this is because it's obviously liquidity, right? So it's likely just gonna go here and then pull right back in, and then it could come all the way back up because there's multiple tests of here. So we knew that there was stop orders resting there. Excellent. Just getting a little distracted because I want to explain this here to you guys so you can watch it live. Maybe we'll jump over in a second just because this is like high action. Okay, so what's happening here? 1 minute. Okay. So see what I said, that it was just going to kind of fizzle? It kind of just fizzles up, and this means it's losing power, right? That's the logic behind these triangle ascending wedge shapes, right? Is that they're losing power, and eventually they're going to come back down into the other direction because the bulls are getting weaker, right? So now that it hasn't actually swept there, but it's super close anyways, I'm actually eager to start taking some more off now. Because it's getting a little bit weaker. I still don't want to take too much off, just because I think it can go a little bit higher. But since it is getting weaker, I might take it off soon once we break this maybe. But if it swept above here, I would have just closed the position like I said earlier. That's this one right here. 15 minute. Yeah, if it swept above there, I would have just closed it. But let's see if we can get one more push and then close it maybe. But this is basically coming to a close in the next like minute or two. What is this lining up with? I don't know. Oh, it was like a 5 minute level or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, if we had much further, if we had a lot further to go in the trade, I probably wouldn't be watching the 1 minute. But considering that this is only, it's only another few pips, that I just want to get out the second I see any sign of reversal here, because I'm really not losing much opportunity for the amount that I could lose in profitability, right? I've already locked in that in a sense, right? It's unrealized, but you can still lose that amount of money. Like, let's say I'm up, let's say I'm up $500 or whatever, right? And it goes all the way back down, then in my mind, I just lost $500. It's the exact same thing from closing right now. Whereas here, so I'm basically risking 500 to make 100, right? So I'm just getting ready to close because this is basically, you know, if I only do a little bit more, that's fine. But basically balancing the risk percentage, because I think it's more likely that we're going to come up here still, like quite a bit more likely. Cool. I think so. Just based off the momentum, it hasn't swept anything yet. Alright, I might close this actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna close this. Might as well. There's not much left to go. Cool. Good stuff. There's not a whole lot left to go. I watched the 1 minute, it swept there. If it came back down here, that would have been even stronger, but I'd rather just get out. It's 50-50 at this point, and it's basically the same distance from here to here. Yeah, because that's definitely a level that it could have swept. And if the 5 minute closed also, then it would have been even stronger, right? If I see the 5 minute close here, this would have actually made more sense. But you can see it's kind of obvious that it's going to close below there in the next couple minutes. So it's just kind of the vibe I got. And, you know, you could be a little bit more strict, but that's just my feeling at that point that it's going to come down now, and I don't know how far. So it could easily, because this is, you know, that's kind of a downtrend, it could easily come all the way back down here, and then I lost all my profits for the day. So I'd rather just get that out of the way, lock in, what was that? 2R-ish plus euro, which was also 2.5R plus this one, which was 1R. So I think we made like, oh, look at this. We can actually trade this the other way. So see how I said that it was going to sweep and then come right back? Swept it on the hourly here, or the 15 minute too. And the only thing that we were going to watch for here now is if it can break that. If it breaks that, you can trade this. Right? It's not that good of a trade, but, or here actually, it might be a level that you might want to take profits on too. See? So this is going to come back to this level. So the same idea with USWIS here. It's going to come back to this level. Down here probably. Anyways, I think that's probably enough on those pairs. I'm not going to take that trade. It's not a very good risk reward trade. I'm happy with, I think I made, what, 2, 2.5, and 1 R today. So, and then I think I had a small loss earlier, so about 5 or something, 5R today, I think. That's pretty good. Anyways, 9:30, you said, 9:30-ish. Over here, you thought? Okay, so the reason it didn't go up there is quite simple. We knew that there's stops here. It was 2 tests of that level, and it just wicked right above, right? And then it started breaking down. It was quite obvious, I think, in my opinion. If it had gone up here to 9:30, I think it would have gone all the way to there, to 9:60. Right? Or 9, oh wait, 90:30 is what you said. 90:30. Is that still the same? Oh, right here? That seems even weirder to me, actually. But either way, yeah, it could have wicked. It doesn't matter where it wicked, right? But once you saw this, that was the sign to get short. And then obviously we targeted the perfect place too, because we knew that there was liquidity right there too. And the entire name of the game is hunting people's stops. You gotta stop people out. You gotta stop people out for you to make money, right? So did this close? It didn't actually do anything, so it might not go up. Here, look at this one now. See how it's coming all the way back down? And we have no idea if this is even gonna act as support. It probably will. But we might as well just exit and then re-enter to see if it, you know, if this holds as support, then we can just re-enter and get another awesome trade and get another 5R maybe. Awesome. Okay. Are you closing because the potential for it just keeps going up is not that much in terms of previous highs? So I closed because the possible profit compared to what my risk was very low, right? So you always have to be thinking in terms of what's my risk reward, right? Even when the trade is running live, not just when you enter the trade. So at the very end here, this was literally my trade, because you can always lose what you have unrealized. That's what you kind of, it's never a free trade. Even if I moved my stop to break even, it's not a free trade. It's a $500 loss if I was betting $500, right? That's just the number I used before. I don't think I was making $500. But anyways, if my stop was down here and my take profit was here, then I'm literally, why would you ever enter this trade? So that's the reason I exited, because there was so little reward based on what I had to risk, and there was no levels here to support me. So the difference would have been if there was like a solid level here. Let's say right here it actually consolidated for a while and then went up, right? And it created like a little bullish sweep here, right? And something like that. Then it would have been a completely different story, because I could have moved my stop to right here. Little voice crack there for you guys. I think I hit puberty. So I could have moved my stop here. So it would have been a little bit different story, right? It's still shit in this scenario, but I would have been able to at least have my stop move forward, shit like that, right? And this is kind of expected too. So we saw that previous low, and we're actually kind of just dipping down and then going up to the upside again. So that's pretty expected too. But it's just simply risk reward. You need to calculate risk reward while running. Unless you're talking about like my profitability factor, like my average win rate, closing the trade early in many cases is very useful. You just got to know how to do it. So in this case, it was a good reason to close the trade early, because that's very small impact on my total average profit, right? If I had closed it very early down here and not let it run based off of a 1 minute candle reversal, then that would have affected me, right? Because when it's still in the very early stages on a 1 minute candle reversal, that's very weak. We want to up it to the 5 minutes, something like that, right? Because we are day trading. So I wouldn't have actually seen any reversal right around there, right? But maybe I saw one on the 1 minute. Then I would have ignored it, right? A lot of shit happened here, right? This would have been a 1 minute reversal, but on the 5 minute, it didn't do shit, right? It was still strong, still went. But if I had exited here, it would have made me lose my entire trade. And losing a trade, in my opinion, is actually, I mean, not making a profitable trade is kind of worse than losing a trade in a sense, because this was a 2R trade and that would have been a 1R loss. So in a sense, winning is more important, but also you need to make sure. Yeah, so in terms, you're saying, so in terms of securing trades and partial profit, that's kind of where I took like little bits of profit along the way. This was so strong though, I didn't need to take profit. I only took 10% off here, and then I took 100% off here. But sometimes I'll say, okay, if it rejected off of there, I would have taken 50% off, because it was roughly 50% through my trade, and I had a roughly 50-50 what is it? It would have been here, right? Because my stop still would have been down here. My take profit would have been up here still. So it would be roughly 50-50. I would have taken like half off, right? If we saw like something strong as a reversal. Obviously, I wouldn't look at the 1 minute right here, I don't think. Maybe like a 5 minute, maybe 1 minute. It depends. Kind of depends. Sorry, we'll look at GJ here. Look at G. Give a trade for us. Bro, I just gave you 2 killer trades at the start of the stream. I gave you this one at the very start, and I gave you this one. This one was actually even closer. It was like right on entry. It was right perfectly on entry when the stream started. And I'm not going to take any more trades today, because there are no more, in my opinion. There might be more. This was another trade opportunity too, remember? But it's not very good risk reward, right? I think it'll come up here before it breaks down there. But at this point, you have -1 or less than 1R, right? What did I say? Boom. Swept that, came all the way back down. That could have been a trade there too. Very simple. God damn, we're good at this shit, aren't we? Freaking genius. Why am I not famous yet? I'm just giving you guys this shit away for free. Like, you guys are probably all gonna be millionaires in a couple years. Like, guaranteed. There's only 150 of you. I guarantee another 150 millionaires in the world not gonna make a difference in the Forex market. What do we think about USWIS? Man, literally we've been talking about USWIS more than anything else today. I think that I'm a genius. Can I say on YouTube? Look at this. You guys saw this live. You saw me exit here. I think it's gonna long again on USWIS. I don't think so. You know why? Because we were expecting. Why? We were expecting. We've been talking about USWIS coming down. Why? We saw these sweeps, we saw the breakdowns, shit like this, right? This rally didn't mean anything. All it was actually more confluence that it's going to go down, right? And it was more people getting in on their shorts, right? Screwing over the dummies and making more monies for the smarties, right? And if you're a skittle, then I don't know where you lie, but you can see it's just really, you know, sweeping people out, coming back down. So this was just another strong confluence that the bulls have no power. They keep trying to make moves, and you know, I was a bull for today, but long term I'm a bear, right? Don't forget to like to increase your win rate. Yeah, man, it's the best strategy. All you got to do is watch 100 videos. Too bad I only have, I think, like 30-40 videos. So I don't know, if you only have a 30% win rate, you still only 70%. You're not very good still if you like them all. 70% is terrible. I know some people at like 200-300% win rate. It's crazy. It's crazy. Every time they win, they actually make 3 times as much as they should. Crazy. They actually win for their friends too at the same time.